Hey everybody, Dr. Albert Snow here, Holistic Gastroenterologist. I'm here to tell you about one of my favorite things, mucus. Mucus in the stool. When you have an inflammatory bowel condition, I just love mucus. I'm glad you have mucus in your stool, and you and you and you. I'm glad for all of you. I love it. I want to hang around with mucus. I want to marry mucus. And mucus is so cool. Because you need it when you need it. When you're seeing mucus in your stool, it's because you need it. To do what? Well, to have an inflammatory bowel condition, you had to have had your mucosal lining knocked out, and you have areas inside your GI tract that don't have any protection against our own stomach acids. That's the problem. You have an inflammatory bowel, otherwise known as acquired inflammatory bowel. It's something that's not genetic. It's totally not natural. It's something you acquired from the use of a very common medicine at some time in your life prior to the symptoms showing up. So you have a bowel without the mucosal lining because of a drug exposed to our stomach acids. The acids start eating holes through the layer of skin, layer of fat, layer of muscle, and it hits a nerve. Well, eventually hits the nerve. When it does, the nerve sends out signals saying we need help, calls upon the body to pour a lot of water into the bowel. I already did a clip saying I love diarrhea. It's to save the colon by diluting the acid and washing it away. Well, what's mucus do? Mucus just gets in the way. We're supposed to have something called the mucosal lining covering our bowel, but if you've ever had antibiotics, that wall gets thinner, that mucosal lining. And then after 2 or 3, 4 antibiotics in your lifetime, you can have an area that has no coverage at all, and the acid is hitting it every time you consume anything, like water. Everyone's told, drink tons of water, keep gulping the water. Well, every time you take a sip of water, you're releasing more acids, and that's not good if you're low on mucosal lining. So what happens is that the nerves get involved. When the acid goes deep enough to hit a nerve, it goes through a layer of skin, fat, and muscle, hits the nerve. It stimulates the nerve to trigger the release of water into the bowel to wash the acid away. Get rid of it. No doubt about it. Get it all out because it's trying to protect you. And if you keep on insisting on doing that, you're going to have nausea because the body's going to release a chemical that says we don't want you eating. Lost your appetite because it's saying to you, we're a mess down here. Don't throw any more food down here, or throw only a little. So you're in a bind, but the body to the rescue. It releases mucus that it borrows from the lymphatic system, which is part of the immune system, and it dumps some of it in the bowel to protect, just to get in the way. Just to get in the way, maybe absorb some of the acid. It's the acid that's a problem for the body. And the way to neutralize that is either through diarrhea, which I love too. I love diarrhea, to wash the acid away, or excess mucus to contain the acid. So what you're dealing with now is a game that you're not going to figure out on your own, and there's only one thing you can do about it. You have to replace that mucosal lining. I'm not going to tell you about that today. This is just a quick hitter. But we have to replace the mucosal lining. Otherwise, nothing's going to work. I can promise you, if you don't replace the mucosal lining, you have 0 chance of healing. 0. You say you live in Baltimore, and Baltimore and the surrounding communities might be, just say, 5 million people. Okay, at least half of them have inflammatory bowel conditions. And at least half of them aren't going to go get any kind of a magic pill from the doctor. There is none. It's going to fix what the antibiotic does to you. It ruins your mucosal lining, allowing the acid to penetrate, aggravate the nerves, trigger the release of water, dilute, and then eliminate the acids. And it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen tomorrow probably 70 times. How many times are you going to take a sip of water? You have to release acids, believe it or not. How many times are you going to eat something? And you are going to lose ground if you don't produce mucus. It's not a legitimate fix. It's not the mucosal lining I talk about. It's mucus that just, like it comes out of your nose, but it pours into the bowel to sort of cover up the walls against the mucus. It's not legitimate. And as the holes get bigger, it's not going to work. You need to get that mucosal lining replaced and rebuild the underlying tissue. I can do that. Okay, thank you.